Happy Thursday, everyone! Welcome to my first NFL Week in Review. Quack McCleats here to present the NFL Week 5 recap and brief analysis. If you didn't catch my last video, don't worry, I'll have my Week 6 analysis and predictions ready by this Thursday, midday at the latest. Let's get started with last week's Thursday matchup between the Rams and Seahawks. So the QBs took quite a few hits of their own in this one, resulting in a dislocated finger for Russell Wilson. Stafford threw for 300 plus yards for the third time this year, leading to a spread-winning victory 26-17. 9-point difference to my 5, and a bit lower scoring of an affair. Metcalf also garnered 13 less receiving yards and 1 more TD than I predicted. Nonetheless, 1-0 against the spread this week. Next is a game that took place overseas, the Jets versus the Falcons. Ryan did what I knew he would, and then some. Maybe not as many TDs, but that yardage. Ryan threw for 25 yards more and 1 less TD than I predicted, but they still managed to beat the spread and earn the victory, 27-20. I was decently close in this one, saying 32-21 for the Falcons. 2-0 against the spread this week. Next up, the Dolphins got slaughterhoused by the Buccaneers, 45-17. I was close with the Dolphins score, less 1 point at 16. The Bucs, however, decided to nearly double my prediction from 24-45. I didn't account for the Bucs offense to be that commanding over the Dolphins. However, the evidence stared me straight in the face. 35 points led to the Bills, 31 to the Raiders, 27 to the Colts. Yeah, I deserve the L on this one. 2-1 against the spread. Our next game, I predicted a highly unlikely 30-30 tie. Well, scratch 21 points off the board as a whole, and the Eagles clutching an underdog victory for a score of 21-18. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I knew the tie was a long shot. Main thing was the Eagles beat that 3.5 point spread by 6.5 points. If McCaffrey played, maybe it would have been a different story, but he didn't. 3-1 against the spread for me. Next, I predicted a 28-25 home upset of Washington over the Saints. Now, Washington did not win, nor did they even come close to beating the spread. You could say I was in a similar ballpark to the score if it were flipped. Saints won 33-22, and looked like Kamara had a lot to say in this game, and it looked like Gibson did too with 2 touchdowns, although that came from 20 attempts at 3 yards per carry. That shin injury may be costing the Washington some much-needed offense further from the goal line. They take that into a struggling Chiefs defense that lost to the Bills this week. Oops. 3-2 against the spread. Spoilers. Titans and Jaguars. I scream Henry. They say Robinson. I scream Henry. They say Robinson. Because they both made things happen. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence was making things happen with 273 yards and a TD pass, but yet another interception for the rookie QB. 3 TDs for Henry, and as predicted, the Titans ran away with it. End score 37-19 compared to my 42-21. 4-2 against the spread. Lions visited the Vikings, and as predicted, came up just short of defeating Minnesota, however, with about 8 less points each. 19-17 victory for the Vikings versus my 27-24 Vikings victory prediction. Nonetheless, versus an 8.5 point spread, this one seemed like a somewhat easy call. Cruising along, I'm 5-2 against the spread. Next up, I thought they'd turn it around and trump the Steelers, but the Broncos fell to the Steelers and the spread, 27-19. I thought the Broncos would win 17-13. Boy, was I wrong. Ben had a rhythm with Claypool and Johnson, while Harris took care of things on the ground, while the Broncos' confusing rush offense is still trying to figure things out. That drops us to 5-3 against the spread, week 5. The Packers visited the Bengals, and in my opinion, Joe Burrow was battling through this one nearly the entire game, resulting in the unfortunate loss of the game and the Bengals' star quarterback for an undetermined amount of time. Burrow suffered a potential throat contusion and was taken to the hospital post-game. The Packers won 25-22 against a 2.5 point spread versus my 29-27 Bengals victory prediction. I did initially think the spread was 3.5 points, so I would have technically won if that stayed true, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Dropping to 5-4, week 5. The Patriots visiting the Texans, and, well, let's just say they didn't win by 10. that is not to say they didn't win the game outright, but spread fighters, the Texans duped many of us, earning 22 points to the Patriots 25, proving my 24-13 Patriots victory rather wrong, along with my completely ludicrous prediction of 2 TDs for Jacoby Myers, who brought in 0 for the day. Yeah, that was quite a long shot. 500 for the week. We're at 5-5 against the spread, week 5. The Bears visited the Raiders, and, well, they didn't muster together as many touchdowns as one would have hoped, but enough to win and beat the spread by a reasonable margin. Williams earned the rushing TD, and the Bears threw for their league-worst second touchdown of the season. Regardless, they won 20-9 versus my 28-7 prediction. They were the underdogs, so all's good. Guess I thought the Raiders would drop a couple bombs, but I guess not. Nonetheless, we're up 6-5 against the spread this week. However, now the Browns visited the Chargers, and for some reason, I guess I thought the Browns' defense would be able to contain the monster that is Austin Eckler, but he proved me wrong with 3 touchdowns in a straight shootout of a game. 47-42 for the Chargers, when I thought the Browns would win 28-23. Yeah, I'm 6-6. Moving on. Okay, here we go. The Cowboys were hosting the Giants, and kinda as I said would happen, the Cowboys were just way too much for the Giants. I mean, the Giants also have been injury-prone, losing Golladay and Barkley this game, which leaves it pretty difficult to get any offense going. I said Cowboys 41-29. They won 44-20. It also bumped me back up above 500 to 7-6. Next game. Ugh, the Bills' defense annoys me. Well, I mean, when I don't choose them to beat the spread, that is. The Chiefs didn't overwhelm them nearly as much as I thought they would. The Bills, on the other hand, made mincemeat of the Chiefs' defense, earning the 38-20 underdog victory versus my 38-32 Chiefs win, which also drops me back to 500, 7-7. And here we go, the last game of the week. Will I be above or below 500? Let's find out. The Colts visited the Ravens. Funny, I actually have Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews in my fantasy football league, and I was down about 36 points with only them left among my opponent and I. And then they had the game they did. My God, I mean, yeah. But as great as that is for their individual stats and any, people who had them in fantasy, such as myself, and the team earning the overtime victory, of course, that unfortunately didn't earn them the spread beat by half a point. This ultimately ends my week 5 off at 7-8. Well, all in all, definitely not the week I was hoping for, but there were a lot of things that went right with my research, along with the many variables resulting in some unpredictable end scores. But that's the fun of it all. If it were truly predictable, then the whimsy would be lost. I mean, Trayvon Diggs earned another interception, like I guessed. Matt Ryan played well, like I guessed. Russell Wilson threw his first interception of the year, like I guessed. I'll take these positives and move forward with confident choices, and all the areas I went wrong to not cloud my judgment, but provide the answers as to where I may have gone wrong in my analysis, and make more informed decisions in later weeks. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to hit the like button or share your thoughts in the comments. Also, be sure to tune in for my NFL Week 6 pre-analysis and predictions. My name's Quack McCleats, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep playing your game.